All right, so are you ready to dive in? Today, we're tackling accessible tech, but like way more than just the basics. We're going deep on Aaron Blasi.
Yeah, and we've got a ton to unpack. Resumes, bios, even internal documents about top tech tidbits. His publication.
It's a lot, yeah. So I'm looking at his resume, right? And it's like 30 years in digital marketing. Okay, impressive, but then, wait, a Taekwondo black belt? What?
This guy's got layers.
Seriously. And then, started coding at age 7. On a Tandy computer, by the way. Had to Google that one.
Right. What even is a Tandy computer?
Exactly. But now he's all about AI. This guy's a walking, talking example of, never stop learning.
Totally. It's not just knowing tech. It's like thriving on growth, on adapting. You can just tell by how long his company's been around. Mind Vault Solutions, always staying ahead of the curve.
And that totally comes through in Top Tech Tidbits. They call themselves the, quote, #1 online resource for accessible tech news, end quote. And honestly, their numbers back it up.
Right. 26,000 readers every week. I mean, those open rates, those click-throughs, someone's doing something right over there.
For sure. And the thing is, they're using AI and all, but they still have humans curating everything. It's like they're saying tech is great, but some things need that human touch,
Totally. It's like they understand that tech can only take you so far, especially with something as important as accessibility. It's about connecting with people on a human level.
Exactly. Okay, but before we go further, can we define some stuff? Because I kept getting tripped up by all the accessible, adaptive, assistive technology terms. They all blur together, don't they?
Yeah, it's subtle but important. Assistive is the broad term hearing aids, wheelchairs, things that help existing abilities. Adaptive is more specific, designed for certain disabilities. And accessible is making tech usable by everyone, regardless of ability.
Right, different levels of inclusion, basically. Which makes what Top Tech Tidbits is doing even cooler. But speaking of cool, their history is fascinating. Founding a publication in 2004. In the digital world, that's ancient history. Seriously. And they started with just Outlook emails, then went to bulk email. From paid content to now this whole sponsorship model. It's wild.
That's so interesting, right? Because it shows it wasn't overnight success. They had to be adaptable, recognize opportunities. It really echoes Aaron's own journey, doesn't it?
Totally. Always growing, always evolving.
And speaking of their sponsor model, which, side note, is genius, we'll get to, that It's not even advertising, really. It's more like partnering up, Yeah. They actually call it mutual prosperity.
Right. And it works. I was looking at their press releases. April 2024, 16,000 readers. Great, right. May, 17,000. June, 20,000. September, they blew past 25,000.
It's like exponential growth.
It's huge, but it's not just numbers, right? Each one of those readers, that's a person whose life could be totally changed by this information. We're talking independence, connection, being able to participate more fully in the world.
It's like, whoa, this is bigger than just tech news. But I have to ask, why does this matter to our listener? You might be thinking, cool story, but I'm not exactly drowning in accessible tech needs right now. And that's fair. But think about it. Your family, friends, people you work with, the CDC estimates 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. has some kind of disability. That's a lot of people.
That's true. It's like we all probably know someone who's impacted by this, even if we don't realize it.
Exactly. And their experiences, their challenges, they matter. What Aaron's doing with Top Tech Tidbits, it's not just raising awareness, it's providing a lifeline. Information, resources, things that can genuinely make a difference.
Totally. It's like a reminder that accessibility isn't some niche issue. It affects all of us. And the best part, you don't have to be some tech genius or millionaire to make a difference. Passion, skills, and drive can take you really far.
Right. Look at Aaron. He saw a need, knew how powerful information is, and used what he had to build something amazing. And he really puts his money where his mouth is, by the way.
Oh, so?
When they don't have enough sponsors to cover costs, guess who steps in? Mind Vault Solutions, his company. They're literally funding accessibility.
No way. That's incredible.
It is. Shows it's not about profit for him. It's about making sure information gets out there, no matter what.
Wow. They're building a community, not just a publication. And they're doing it with so much transparency. Did you see the part about how sponsors get free link tracking through Google Analytics?
Yeah, it's like they're saying, we're not hiding anything. Look for yourselves. That's huge for building trust.
Huge. And that's what makes them so fascinating. It's the heart behind it,
Yeah.
But hold on, before I get too philosophical, we keep mentioning AI and I need details. It's clearly a big part of how they work, but there's that whole debate about AI content creation, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge topic, right? And it's only getting bigger. But the cool thing about Top Tech Tidbits is they actually address it head on. Like they have this whole section in their About page all about how they use AI ethically. It's pretty cool.
Really? See, that's what I'm talking about. So many places just like gloss over it.
Right. But Top Tech Tidbits, they're upfront about it.
Yeah.
They use AI for scanning tons of info, finding good articles, even personalizing content for readers.
So they're using it to like enhance things, not replace humans.
Exactly. And that's key. They're transparent about it. AI might suggest stuff, but the final call, like what to include, how to frame it, that's all still human editors.
Which makes sense, especially in a field like accessible tech, right? You need that human touch, that understanding of what the community actually needs.
100%. And their readers respond to it. I mean, over 26,000 subscribers and growing. And these aren't just random people. These are professionals, people who live and breathe this stuff.
It's true. They wouldn't be coming back if the content wasn't good. They've become like thought leaders in this space.
For sure. And that takes time, consistency, and I think a genuine desire to like serve their audience.
Which brings us back to Aaron, right? Top Tech Tidbits is basically an extension of his own values, wouldn't you say?
Totally. This isn't some side hustle. This is him seeing a need and going for it. Using his skills to make something with real impact. And speaking of going for it, did we mention, when they don't have enough sponsors, Aaron's company, Mind Vault Solutions, they cover the costs.
Wait, seriously, I think you mentioned it earlier, but still.
Yeah, they're literally putting their money where their mouth is.
That's wild. It just goes to show it's not about making a quick buck for him.
Nope. It's about that commitment, you know, making information accessible, period.
And they found a way to make it sustainable, too. That whole sponsor model we keep talking about, it's not just good for Top Tech Tidbits, it's good for the sponsors, too.
All right. It's targeted advertising. They know their audience, and they're supporting a good cause.
It's like that win-win-win situation we talked about.
Exactly. And what's cool is it's like a blueprint, right? He's proving you can build a successful business, make a real difference, and do it all ethically.
It makes you wonder, what if every field had a Top Tech Tidbits?
Right. Imagine if healthcare, finance, education all had something like this.
Information should be accessible, period. But, okay, before we go on a whole tangent.
Really?
Maybe. Haha. But you mentioned Top Tech Tidbits uses AI for personalized content, right? Which is cool, but also kind of makes me think about those algorithm echo chambers, you know? It's like, how do you personalize without getting trapped in a bubble of your own biases, right?
Exactly. And that's where the human element comes in again. They use AI to find stuff, but then the editors, they make sure there's a variety of viewpoints. It's not just showing you more of what you already agree with.
That's good, because I've definitely fallen down those rabbit holes before.
Oh, totally. But it seems like Top Tech Tidbits is really conscious of that. They're using AI responsibly, not just blindly throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Which I really respect. It's like we were saying before, technology is a tool, and it's all about how you use it.
Right. And using it ethically, thinking about those bigger implications.
Yeah.
That's something we need more of.
100%. And that's what makes this whole thing with Aaron so cool. It's not just about him, it's about what he represents, you know? That anyone can make a difference.
Totally. You don't have to be some big shot. You just need passion, some skills, and the drive to do something good.
And do it consistently. It's like building a house one brick at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Small actions done over and over. That's how real change happens. And who knows? Maybe someone listening will be inspired to start their own version of Top Tech Tidbits.
Right. Imagine if every industry had a resource like that. Accessible, engaging, and actually helpful.
Now, that would be something. Because at the end of the day, we all benefit when information is shared widely, don't you think?
Absolutely. Well said. This has been a really inspiring deep dive, wouldn't you say?
Totally. Eye-opening, even. It's given me a lot to think about.
Me too. So, to everyone listening, we've got a question for you. What information gaps do you see in your own world? What needs to be more accessible, more engaging? Think about it. Maybe this is the push you need to start building something amazing too. Thanks for diving deep with us.